Here I'm going to show you how the code for your chatbot in Python works. It's very simple really. I've got the code here on the right hand side and I've put some extra blank lines in just to break it down into individual chunks that I can go through one bit at a time. The first two lines import two functions into the program called time and random, and we'll need these a little bit later on. The time function will be used just to add a delay into the program every now and again, just so it gives the impression that the chatbot is thinking about its response. And then we will need random later because the chatbot will need to select a random piece of data from a list. The next section, starting here, is just a little introduction. The first three lines print out a little introductory banner that says "Welcome to Stevie, the Python chatbot." Then down here, name equals input. The chatbot at this point will ask you or ask the user to type in their name, and it will store the name in a variable called name that it will use later on in the program. Here we've got the first time command, and this is telling the chatbot just to wait for 2 seconds before it replies. After it's waited 2 seconds, we go on to the next bit, and here it will print the text hello and the name of the person on the screen. Then it will print the name of the chatbot. My name is Stevie. The next bit here deals with the age of the person who's interacting with the chatbot. Here the chatbot asks you what your name is using the input command, and it will store the number that you type in a variable called age, which again it will use later. int tells the chatbot that it needs to accept a whole number or an integer, so you can't type in a decimal number, for example 11.5. It will then take your age and print it out on the screen and say 11 is a good age to be if you typed in 11 as your age. str tells the chatbot to convert the number that you've typed in into a string value or a piece of text so it can combine it with the text here in the print command. And then the chatbot will tell you that it was created in 2018. Now it's going to ask you another question and store the answer in a variable called feeling. And this time it's going to ask you, how are you feeling today? Once you've typed in your response, it's then going to wait for 3 seconds, give the impression that it's thinking. And we've got a selection statement here. And it's going to look at the response you gave, and if it contains the word good in the variable feeling, it's going to print out I'm feeling good too. Otherwise, it's going to print I'm sorry to hear that. At the moment, our chatbot is only checking for one feeling, and a little bit later on in this task, you'll need to get your chatbot code to see if it can check for more than one feeling. It's going to wait again for 2 seconds this time, and it's going to ask you what is your favourite colour, and it's going to store that in a variable called favColor. Then it's going to create a list of favourite colours called colours, and in that list it's going to store red, green and blue. It'll then wait for 3 seconds, and after the 3 seconds it will print out on the screen my favourite colour is, and it will choose a random colour from our list here. The last part of the code asks you if you want to play a game, and the chatbot says that it's thinking of a number between 1 and 100, and can you guess the number that it's thinking of? It then performs a calculation, takes the number 100 and subtracts the age that you input, and stores that number into the variable called guess. So if you had put in that you are 11 years old, it here would calculate that the guess is going to be 89. 100 take away 11 equals 89. It creates another variable called user guess, and it stores the number 0 in that variable. Now it's ready to play. Here we create a loop in the program, a piece of code that's going to repeat and repeat and repeat until a certain condition is met. And the condition is that the variable, the number stored in user guess, is not equal to, that's what exclamation equals means, not equal to the number stored in guess. So while these two numbers are not the same, it's going to keep repeating this line of code. And this line of code, it asks you to input what number you are thinking of. INT we've come across before because it wants a whole number, and it's going to store that guess in the user guess variable. It'll then check to see if the two numbers are the same, and if they're not, it will reprint that line of code and ask you to guess again. As soon as you've guessed correctly, and that your guess is the same as the number that the chatbot has calculated here, it will break away from the loop and it will print out, well done, you guessed that I was thinking of the number, and it will put the number on the screen. And that's the end of the chatbot. The last thing it will display is thanks for talking to me and bye. So the last thing for us to do now is test the chatbot code to see if it works. I'm going to press F5 to run it. If you've not run and saved your code before, it'll ask you to save it at this point, and it will ask you for a file name, but because I've saved mine already, it's not going to ask me for one. And here we go, it's running it here on the left hand side, and you can see it displays the title bar, and the first bit, hello, what is your name? So I'm going to type the name in, and you can see that it's waiting now. Hello Nick, my name is Stevie. Nick, how old are you? I'm 11. 11 is a good age to be. I was created in 2018. How are you feeling today? I'm going to say that I'm feeling good because I know that it's looking for the word good at the moment. And we can see it waiting again, as if it's thinking. I'm feeling good too, and it's waiting. What's your favourite colour? It's green. Again it waits, and now at this point it's going to select a colour randomly from the list. My favourite colour is red. And we're on to the last part of the code now for it playing the number guessing game. Let's play a game. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. Can you guess the number? Guess what number I'm thinking of. And if I type in a number, because it's not the number that the computer chatbot code has thought of, it's going to ask me again. And it's going to keep asking me until I put in the correct number, which should be 89. Well done. You guessed that I was thinking of the number 89. Thanks for talking to me. Bye. And that's our chatbot code working.